What is going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of JB360. We have here the Macfox X1 Class 2/Class 3 e-bike, and believe it or not, this is an all-steel frame. It does look like aluminum from the outside, but overall the construction of it is pretty well put together. This is only rocking a 500 watt gear hub motor, which outputs at about 750 watts peak, but still it has a bit of a punch to it, which is really nice. Hits about 24-25 miles an hour with no problem. And yeah, one of the reasons that I've been excited to review this bike is mainly because of the upgrade potential. For a lot of you that are looking to mod out a potential e-bike, this would be it. Before we get into the higher upgrades, let's talk about the bike stock, shall we? All right, so the X1 comes with a 48 volt 10.4 amp hour battery. This is capable of possibly getting you maybe 25 to 30 miles per charge if you are doing the lowest pedal assist mode, which there are only 3, but if you do eco, you can hit 25-30 no problem. When I did my range test, I got about 15 miles on the highest setting, which wasn't too bad, especially for my work commute. I think if you're the type that does have a longer commute or is looking to sort of travel a bit further than your normal ride, then I would say possibly upgrade to getting the dual battery. So it comes standard with the battery pack here, the Shark pack here, and then there's one that actually you can get that installs right here. There's like a bracket under there that you can put the second battery. Overall, it's a pretty comfortable ride. It comes with the long seat here, the e-moto long seat. It's not hunched over. It doesn't have like sort of like a bump here that will kind of like force you to sit closer to the front of the bike, which is nice. And it does give the option to have a second rider if you decide to put on passenger pegs. All right, so let's take you guys over to the dash here. We have a small LCD screen that displays miles per hour as well as current mileage, and your battery indicator here. And the plus and minus, of course, cycle through the different modes. You have eco, mid, and you have high, which is what I usually ride with this, especially in traffic and commuting in the city. So this is what, when I did my range test, I did stick on the high mode. LCD is pretty bright. It's a nice little indicator on the right side. Doesn't like take up the middle section here. If you decide to put like, say like this, like phone holder here. By the way, Macfox phone holder, pretty nice, pretty sweet. They do sell it on their store, but if you decide to get a third party, you can actually add that onto the frame over here, as well as any other type of accessories that you want, like a Bluetooth speaker or something like that. These BMX handlebars have a lot of real estate, and it does come stock with the bike. Also, you do have a headlight in the front here, comes standard, and it does have the high beam function, so you can toggle it on and off on your rides. In terms of throttle, it comes with a full twist throttle, which is actually very interesting. It's kind of unique for a lot of these e-bikes in this category. Usually they come with like either a thumb throttle or like a half twist, but the Macfox X1 comes with a full twist, which is really nice. Very good to have. I'm gonna actually show you here. Has a good range of motion, pretty comfortable, especially for longer commutes. Brakes that they have here are cable brakes. They're fairly strong. I would say probably not as powerful as like hydraulic brakes, but they do get the job done. These are running, I believe, 180 millimeter rotors, but overall the look of the bike looks awesome. I mean, it has that like cafe racer style to it. These CST tires that come with the bike, I was never really a big fan of these type of tires. I mean, the treads are nice, but I just feel as though the walls are a little bit thin. If I were to swap out to better tires, I'd probably go with like Huntsman or maybe even Shinko's. Overall, the bike is, being that it is steel, it does not have front and rear suspension. Very similar to the Super 73 Z1. It does have this frame handle, which is awesome for lifting up the bike, which is fairly light, thank goodness, especially if you live in an apartment building or something like that and you need to carry it up a flight of stairs. You can actually do so with this type of bike. It does not have a working rear light. I actually added this bike spark light just as a added accessory here, just for cars to see me. It does come with this rear reflector, but you do have the option of getting a rear light, a functioning rear light. As you can see, the Gillette connector here, this pin connects to the rear light accessory if you were to get one, and you would just kind of take this one off and then mount it behind the mount it onto this plate here. Also, another additional add-on that you can get from the Macfox store is this tank bag. I probably think it's one of the nicer things about the bike in terms of looks, because it sort of like seamlessly just fits right there on the frame. As you can see right on top, it looks like a little like gas tank, you know. But it's actually great for storing like a lot of stuff, you know, say like your tool set, you know, camera accessories, stuff like that, gloves, even your keys. And it's fairly big. You can actually fit like a regular sized can of soda or like seltzer in here. Yeah, so if you need to get to the store and you're grabbing something like a small snack or something like that, you can definitely fit it in this tank bag. I love it. And it's branded too. You gotta love that that Fox symbol right there in the center. All right, guys, anyways, that is the X1. We're gonna take this out for a bit of a spin and I'll let you guys know what I think about the bike. And in the end, we'll give our pros and cons and see what we think. This bike is actually pretty easy to pedal. Now, when I say easy, it's not, it doesn't feel awkward to pedal. You know, it's very, it is very natural, you know. I don't feel like that my knees are like hitting the bars, you know, which is why I think that it was a good choice to go with the BMX bars. But otherwise, saying I don't feel like a clown when pedaling it, which is really nice. Got another hill climbing test here. Let's see. Now I'm pedaling. Let's see, on the highest mode, about 12 miles an hour, not too bad. Hey man, I'm rehabbing the knee as well, which is nice. See the stopping power here. Pretty good. Not too bad, honestly. The cable brakes. Overall, I do love the long seat. I think it does a good job of not forcing you to like kind of like scoot your way so far up on the bike. Gives you kind of like freedom to like move back and kind of like sort of sit how you want to sit. So I'm glad they did go with the long seat. And if you do end up going with like some third-party pegs, rear pegs, you can actually have a person on the back with you. I wouldn't say for long periods of time, but at least for as sort of like last mile, like getting to your destination kind of commute. So, I'll take you guys through the different modes in terms of like top speed, what to expect when cycling through the 3 different modes. So Eco's getting me at about 12 miles an hour, I'm gonna say. So let's go to mode 2, which is, they call it mid. Thank you, sir. All right, so picking up speed a little bit. Going past 15, hitting 16. Let's see, can we hit 17? Oh, we hit 17. 17 on mode 2, very nice. Mode 3, the highest mode, so let's see what we get here. We're on like a slight uphill. Let's see if I can get on even plane here. 23. I saw 24. 24. 24. Ah! So 24 seems to be the max, at least for me, the max. I'm about 5'10", weigh about 200 pounds. So I'm sure like a lighter rider will probably get a good top speed. Oh, hitting some pretty gnarly bumps here. You will feel it. You will feel the lack of suspension. But if you're in an area that doesn't, you know, has pretty decent roads, I think you won't notice it as much. 24. We're almost at 25, guys. We're about to hit it. Almost. Not too bad. Not too bad. We can open it up for a little bit. We can pedal a little bit. Yeah, I mean, it's a very solid bike. Overall, I would say if you are someone that's kind of like, I would say maybe even new to e-bikes and sort of like that little like moped look or that motorcycle look, a cafe racer, as people call it. If you do like that cafe racer look, I think this is a nice little starter e-bike to have in your repertoire. It's very straightforward in terms of installation. You know, twist and go. Pedal assist works. There's only 3 modes, so you're not like cycling through like 5 or 6 modes. Yeah, and overall it's a very fun and nimble ride. And it's not very big. It doesn't take up a lot of space. Say you have like a garage or like you're in an apartment unit in the city or something like that. It's fairly light considering the frame is all steel, and it's very easy to handle. It has that little frame handle in the back that you can just kind of like pick up and carry the bike with ease. So definitely in terms of portability, I think it definitely shines in that area. And I mean, it's quick, you know, for like cycling purposes, you know. I mean, I know a lot of people that don't want to go like over 20 miles an hour, you know, and this thing is perfect for those types that are just literally trying to get around. You kind of just cruise, you know. It can keep up with a lot of the main e-bikes you see like on the scene right now, like obviously Super 73s, aerial riders, Juice. Like this can totally hang with those e-bike crowds. And if you think about it too, if you look at the price, this is like just under $1,000. Whereas a lot of the competition, you know, they have sort of like slightly higher specs, obviously, because they're running like 750 watt, 1,000 watt motors. But I mean, honestly, for the price, the amount of e-bike that you're getting is pretty good. With that budget, especially if you're able to get this for $1,000, there is room to add on to it, like swapping out the front forks, or even adding in an extra battery for extended range. Like this bike has the capability to do so. There's so much room in this like center cavity here that the possibilities are almost endless, you know. Very nice ride, super nice ride. This is perfect for the bike paths. One of the things I do wish that the X1 did come with is even at least a little like bell, you know. I know the horns are an extra cost or whatnot, but you know, even just something cheap like that, you know, just so people don't have to go out and buy, you know, from like Amazon or something like that. You know, it'd be nice to have, like, for it to kind of come standard with that. One of the other things I do wish also is I do wish that it did come with a working brake light. Nowadays, more and more e-bike companies are starting to include that standard, you know, like a working rear light, even turning signals, you know. You see companies like Spark Cycle Works, you know, I know the bike is, you know, in a different class and stuff like that, but I mean, they didn't have to include it, and they did include turning signals on the front and the rear. So you know, something like that, just to give riders, you know, especially like new riders, you know, a good leg to start off of, you know. The e-biker, that looked like an electric or a knockoff electric XP. I wish these brakes were hydraulic disc brakes. Right now these are running cable disc brakes. I mean, they're okay. I mean, stopping power is fine, you know, for the speed that it's going at, but I mean, you can never go wrong with hydraulic brakes. They're fairly easy to maintain, you know, and you know you're getting like the best stopping power there is for these type of bikes. Also, a lot of the accessories that it comes with are actually pretty cool. Like this tank bag I got with the bike, super useful. Like, I'm able to store a lot of my, you know, like either my keys or just like a tool set in here, just like you saw in like the overview video, the overview portion of this video. And it's so useful. You know, you can even feel like, you know, like a small can of like soda or like seltzer water or something like that. It retrofits into the frame very well, and it comes with mounting screws, so it's not like moving around or anything like that, you know. Like if you hit like a bad bump, it's not gonna like fall over. Like I come from the X-Class community, and we have the aerial rider tank bag that sits right here, but the thing is, it's like just these like two straps, you know, and whenever you hit like a bump like we just had right there, the thing will just literally like lodge right off, you know, and it'll just be like sideways, you know. So it's not really ideal, you know, for like, you know, varying terrain. Considering it has no suspension, this bag has not moved at all, especially because of the mounting screws. So I mean, definitely an awesome accessory. I'm glad that they included it. I also believe the X1 and the X2, which is their full suspension version, they have the compatible rear rack. So if you are, you know, like a food delivery driver, or you're doing, you know, just errands here and there, definitely a perfect accessory for both bikes. So actually, I'd done a range test in the city earlier this week. Overall, I was able to get a good 16 miles, I would say, before I had to charge, and that was on the highest mode. You know, I didn't bother, you know, cycling through the lower modes. You know, my commute consists of hills, some fast areas where you can kind of like just let loose. So I would say overall, you can expect somewhere around 15 miles per charge with this bike on the highest mode. Obviously, if you're rocking like Eco or like the Mode 2, you will get I would say a considerable amount, maybe even like 20 to 25 miles on one charge. All right, guys, so my pros and cons list. Let's see. Pros. I mean, if you're looking for like a cafe racer style bike, under $1,000, the X1 is definitely in a class of its own. Like, you could probably make the argument like, you know, the electric XP, but you know, that's like a type of folding e-bike. You know, it's something that, you know, some people may not like the aesthetics of it, and that goes true for a lot of people that are looking for e-bikes. They do care about what their bike looks like. Not to say the electric XP isn't nice looking or whatnot. It's definitely a practical and probably one of the most economical bikes you can get. The X1, you know, you're getting a nice looking bike for a great price tag. Can't go wrong with that. Another pro with the bike, I would say it is a fairly light e-bike. You know, especially for people with tight spaces, or they don't have, you know, room to store certain things. The bike is actually small enough to carry around. Considering it's a all steel bike, all steel frame, it's pretty light, which makes it easy to carry around, easy to transport. I was able to fit this into my my small Kia Soul, and I didn't really have an issue with it. Back to pros. I would say my third pro would definitely be room for upgrades. Now, when I say that, if you are looking to modify this bike to do 72 volts, it definitely has the capability to do so. There is room in the center cavity for a 72 volt battery. And if you want to swap out to a 3000 watt motor, it runs a 170 millimeter dropout. So it could fit most standard like 3000 watt, 5000 watt kits. You know, if you do upgrade to the higher speeds, I would say definitely swap out the front forks just to get a little bit of suspension. I don't mind the non-suspension on the back. I mean, I have a Roadrunner that has no rear suspension. And I've ridden this, I've taken it through its paces in the city. It's not that bad. I would say though, if you do upgrade to higher speeds, definitely do maybe go with like a dual crown suspension fork. It's definitely worth it to have, you know, especially when you're hitting like 50 plus miles an hour. So I actually, upon mentioning that, I do plan on using this to upgrade to 72 volt. I have a spare battery, 20 amp hour battery in my garage, which I'm going to be installing on this. I have like a pizza bag too, like a triangle pizza bag. I'm going to put the battery in the center console area here. I'm also going to swap out the rear for a 3000 watt MB power motor, as well as swapping out the controller for a 150 amp Saviton, which I have a spare 150 amp Saviton due to the fact that I did swap out controllers on my Stealth Bomber. So yeah, guys, don't throw anything out. That's all I gotta say. You can use it for something for other e-bike projects. In terms of negatives, some cons, well, just a couple of cons. One of them mainly being suspension. I mean, they do have the X2, which has dual suspension. You know, I do just wish e-bike companies would just include that standard. You know, I don't know anyone that's like, I'd rather just take the model without rear suspension. It's not for me. You know, it's like, you'll take suspension, especially if you were to decide between not, you know, having a hardtail and not, you know. So I think e-bike companies, if you're listening, do include front and rear suspension standard. Doesn't cost that much, you know, rather than us upgrading it, going through all these like hoops and hollers. The second con for me, I would say, would be the lack of working rear light. That should come standard. And I'm gonna throw in there the lack of a bell, just some type of audible warning. Could be those like cheap ones that you see, like, you know, that make that little like beeping sound, you know, like me, you know, like it's nothing crazy. At least something standard, you know, for a lot of people that are starting out on e-bikes, or, you know, novices and stuff like that. Especially the rear light in traffic. It's very crucial that people behind us do see that we're going next to them and see that we're braking in front of them. So a rear light standard would be awesome. I mean, you could buy their rear light that just connects straight to the Gillette connector in the back. But I mean, you know, just include that standard, you know. And yeah, those are the only two gripes that I have with the bike. Overall, you know, once I upgrade this thing, I'm going to be doing another video, another review. And I can't wait, because this is just like, it's so small in comparison to, so small in comparison to the other e-bikes that I've had, not including the Roadrunner. I mean, this thing is like super nimble, super like agile. I don't even know what word to describe it, but I would definitely recommend this to somebody that's starting out on e-bikes, and anybody that is looking to upgrade. Find a perfect DIY project. X1 is definitely your e-bike. Anyways, guys, that's my thoughts. That's my review on the Macfox X1. Please leave a comment below if you guys have any questions, or if you have an X1 yourself, let me know what you like about it. Let me know what you don't like about it. But until then, guys, I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Ride safe, ride smart, and I'll catch y'all guys on the next one. Peace.